To be honest with you, I thought our guys, what I felt during the game was that we sold ourselves short a little bit. I felt like, it was such a disparity the first time we played them that we got off to a good start and we weren't overwhelmed by the presence of their team in the way that we were the first time we played them. And I thought we accepted that there was a level of relief in the group that it isn't a drubbing. Like, all right, we can compete with these guys, and they were satisfied with the fact that we could compete with them. And when we made a little bit of a run and had a chance at 11 points to get it to single digits, I don't think we were really playing to win at that point. And so I was disappointed in that because these guys, you guys know, you've seen them, they stick together, they keep fighting. They kept fighting in the game, they showed some pride. But it was more about the pride and sticking together and fighting than it was like playing to win. And we didn't quite do that. They shot 37% in the second half. We guarded them. We didn't guard them well the first time we played them. Today we got 4 consecutive stops within the first 4 minutes of the game. And the ball was moving for us. We only had the first game they had 21 offensive rebounds, and that led to 30+ points. And tonight we gave up 10, but they didn't dominate the way they normally do. So we did some things that we set out to do, and then we didn't try to go win it. Right? But we needed to do those things to be in the fight, and once we were in it, we kind of accepted that, and so that's a little disappointing.
Is that maybe a byproduct of just not seeing the wins come? Is that maybe they've not mentally, because they, like you said, they do fight, but maybe not seeing those wins come, there's not that win attack the win mentality?
I don't think that like they deserved the win to Wichita State game. They knew that. We had to make some free throws or whatever to finish the game, but the fight was there, and we kind of let one slip away. Your pride always says, "Oh, we should have won a game," but that was a game that we definitely were in a position to win the game that we let go. So we were playing to win. We were playing to win at East Carolina. I think it has a lot more to do with our initial experience with them and the respect that we have for them. Like, that was we're coming off 3 out of 4 wins. We come home, we have this great win over Tulsa, and we get smashed on national TV. And I think during the game we realized, like, we really can't play with these guys, And had we played like this the last game, we probably would have, wouldn't have came in with that mentality here.
Was that not playing to win, but hey, we can play with these guys kind of mentality you've alluded to? Was that something you foresaw that there was the potential for that with the team, or did that kind of just develop tonight?
Yeah, I think it was something that happened in the game. I think, because there's no question that the guys came out with the right mentality. And they were competitive. We had a little pop, a little juice to start the game. We didn't get as much spark from our bench as we would need, and just energy-wise. Emery, Keon, those guys who come in and kind of spark us a little bit didn't as much tonight. Came in, fouled, gave up offensive rebounds, got beat off the dribble. And so we were relying on the starters almost primarily throughout the game, and I think those guys got worn down a little bit.
You drew the comparison to the first time you met Houston, and obviously down there, Houston got out to such a fast start. Tonight it was tied at 8 and 10 or whatever it was. Was there a change in the pregame preparation or your speech in the locker room before the game that may have impacted the start?
As compared to the last game? I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they feel that way. I don't know. Did Sam say something along those lines?
No.
I don't know. I just think we've gotten, I thought we got connected in Hawaii. I thought we got humbled at Houston, and we had to reconnect, had to get off the canvas, and I think we've done that. And then tonight was a game where we came out with the right mentality, and they're a good team, and they responded as a good team would. #2 team in the country, maybe they're the best. And so they're going to make some shots if you give them an offensive rebound. If you miss an assignment, they're going to make you pay. If you don't really guard, they're going to get to the basket. And they did what good teams do. And then our response wasn't at the level necessarily to beat a team of that caliber.
Sam said he and the team feel like they can still get some goals accomplished, still make some noise in the AAC tournament. Do you sense that same confidence that they still have, and that's why they just keep playing as hard as they do, night in, night out?
Yeah, this is a different group. I can't, I got to say, I've been around teams that win a lot more games than we're winning right now that I didn't enjoy. But sometimes winning can disguise what's happening below the surface sometimes, right? It's almost like offense. You make shots. You might be able to disguise some weaknesses of your team, right? And I think winning can do that sometimes. Sometimes you're winning, but the needle's not moving. And sometimes you're not, and the needle's moving in the right direction. And I think you can lose without being a loser. And I think that's what we have. We have a group that's trying to learn how to win together. Some guys who have been casting roles they've never had before, and we're trying to learn how to win. But I know 100% I'm going to come in there tomorrow and I'm going to enjoy being with these guys. And I know that on Saturday we're going to have another really good practice in preparation for Sunday. And I wouldn't totally blame them if they let human nature take over at this point in the year, but they haven't. And it's really stretching me as a coach because I'm saying I'm enjoying this in a way that I wouldn't expect. If you told me our record was going to be this, I'm like, this is going to be miserable. But I'm not miserable. I'm not. I'm disappointed, but I'm not miserable, and I'm not discouraged because I know tomorrow they're going to come in with a great attitude. And I really, that really means a lot from a foundational standpoint.
At the start of the second half, Jalen Smith came out with some sort of belt or wrap around his waist and didn't come in right away. How limited was he, and what did that do to your rotation when he did come back in the second half?
Yeah, he had something that was ailing him. Mainly his defense. That needed some treatment, and so I was a little bit frustrated with Jalen because I think Jalen can be a great defender. I think those guys can be tremendous defenders with their size, length, and athleticism. And they had a real challenge on their hands tonight against some really good players. And I just think we got to, just an area where we just got to take that to another level.
You guys had gone a while without making a shot from the floor. They had built that 23-point lead. And then Sam, kind of 3 straight, got some big buckets for you. How big was that for you as a team, but also to see Sam kind of take control and kind of put that upon himself to maybe take over in that kind of situation?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because I coach the game and then I root for guys at the same time as we're going through this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm rooting for a guy to make a shot, not just because we need a 3, but for his psyche. And so in Sam's case, I'm like really pulling for Sam because I know he's got so much more in him, and I think he's hard on himself right now. And so I love the fact that, he wasn't himself tonight because he's the one guy on the team that I feel the most comfortable leaving in for the longest stretch. Because he's got the greatest endurance, I think, on the team. He can play harder for longer stretches. And even tonight, it looked like he hit a little bit of a wall, and then in that stretch you're talking about, he had a low pop, and it was good for us. And at the same time, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm really happy to see him starting to get some traction, because at some point he's going to get that beautiful jump shot back, and we're going to see another level guy.
As the course of the season unfolds, and obviously the record is what it is right now, how has the rotation evolved? Darius McBride gets in tonight. How do you and your staff continue to kind of evaluate these guys and get different guys opportunities?
Well, it was, Darius, man, he's such a high character dude. We were looking for a spark there. Like I was saying, we didn't get a spark from our bench. Normally Keon and Emery kind of bring like some immediate energy. And Frank had been practicing so good the last couple of days that I felt like I had to give him an opportunity that, he practiced like a grown man. It was going to be a grown man game, so I threw him in there, and he did some good stuff for us. As far as the rotation itself, I think, you know, it's still kind of, you know, from game to game, who you turn to first is a lot of a byproduct of how the game is going sometimes. In general, it's based on the way guys have practiced, and that's how it's gotten to where it is now. And tonight, I wanted to give those guys an opportunity to give us a spark, and Darius gave us some good minutes. And you go through a year like this, and guys are sitting over there, they're not playing for games and weeks at a time, and then they keep coming in with this unbelievably good attitude, man. I've never seen anything like it, to be honest with you. And so there's some times where I just say, hey, I'm gonna throw them in there and see if they can give us something, and they did.
And you mentioned the way they practice, and as you build the culture and keep building, you know, what you want out of these guys, is rewarding that strong practice play a real key in that, I would imagine?
I think so, and I think it's also, you know, keeping guys engaged, and because they've been so good, their attitude has been so great. So certainly, you know, you want to keep your word.
Your first game against ECU. Your first game against ECU got
Just
away.
waiting for him to give me one turnover.
It's coming.
It's inevitable.
Other than playing in your own building on Sunday, what needs to be different Sunday from the first go-around with ECU?
Well, we came back late in the game and took the lead, but they played harder than us. They started out the game more intense. It was my fault. That one is on me. I was so disappointed in our effort in Tulane that we got on a plane and practiced there, and I didn't care about their conditioning, whether they were tired, whether someone got hurt. I mean, we had a really, really hard practice. When did we play them, on a Sunday or a Saturday?
We played them on Saturday, ECU Saturday.
That was a Saturday. So Thursday night at 7 p.m., we had a really rough practice. And then on Friday, we had another one. And I didn't really care about the outcome of the game. I wanted to see a fight. And I got 2 days of a fight, and it hurt us in the game, but I wasn't concerned about that, to be honest with you. I was more concerned about the standard. And I thought we operated a little bit below the standard this last game, and we showed some fight in that ECU game when we got our backs against the wall. But our backs were against the wall because they played harder than us to start, and I'll take some of the blame for that.